No one noticed it at first. It started as a small change in the sky. The blue color faded, slowly turning dark, even though it was still daytime. Birds stopped flying. The wind became quiet. Across the world, people looked up, confused, feeling something was wrong. Then the clouds split open. Massive shapes appeared. Above Earth, huge alien ships covered the sky like metal shadows. They were silent, motionless, and endless. From cities to villages, from oceans to deserts, the same sight filled the heavens. Humanity had never seen anything like this before. Panic spread instantly. Phones stopped working. Satellites went offline. News channels tried to report, but signals kept cutting out. Military bases went on full alert, yet no weapon was fired. No one knew what to do. Every defense system on Earth suddenly felt small and useless. In homes, families gathered together. Some prayed, some cried. Some stared at the sky in fear. Children asked questions no one could answer. Then, a single voice echoed across the world. It did not come from speakers or screens. It came directly into every human mind. Clear and calm, cold and powerful. This planet is under my observation. The voice belonged to a woman, but not human. Her tone carried authority older than Earth itself. Governments tried to respond. World leaders spoke into microphones, sent signals, and launched emergency transmissions. There was no reply. The voice returned, "You have 1 hour." No explanation followed. Across the globe, fear turned into terror. People assumed the worst. 1 hour until what? Destruction? Invasion? Extinction? Military commanders ordered preparations, but deep down, they knew the truth. No force on Earth could fight. What was above them? Minutes passed like seconds. Then the sky changed again. One ship moved forward, separating from the fleet. It descended slowly, stopping high above the planet. A beam of light spread across the clouds, forming a massive image in the sky. She appeared, the Alien Empress. She was tall, graceful, and terrifying. Her eyes glowed like distant stars. Her armor looked alive, shifting like dark liquid metal. She did not look angry. She did not look cruel. She looked bored. "I am Empress of the 7th Dominion," she said, "ruler of 1,000 systems. Destroyer of worlds that failed to serve a purpose." Her words hit humanity like a storm. Earth was not special. Earth was not important. "You are weak," the Empress continued. "Divided, loud, fragile. Your planet offers nothing my empire needs." People around the world lost hope. Some fell to their knees. Others screamed at the sky, begging for mercy. The Empress raised her hand. In space, several ships powered their weapons. The air vibrated. Oceans trembled. Mountains shook. "This world can end in moments," she said calmly. Silence followed. Then something unexpected happened. The Empress paused. Her glowing eyes narrowed, as if she was looking deeper past the cities, past the armies, past the noise. She was searching for something interesting. She said. The weapons powered down. Confusion spread across Earth. Humans did not understand why they were still alive. The Empress spoke again, her voice slower. "Now there is something here." She turned her gaze toward the planet. Something rare. World leaders waited in fear. Scientists searched for answers. Soldiers stood ready, though they knew readiness meant nothing. The Empress finally spoke the words that would change everything. "I will spare this planet," she said. A wave of shock spread across humanity. Some people cried with relief. Others did not believe what they heard. "But," she added, "that single word froze the world. There is a condition." The image of the Empress filled the sky, her eyes glowing brighter. "One human will belong to me." No explanation followed. No name was given. No reason was shared. Just one human. For the survival of Earth. As panic and confusion spread again, The Empress delivered her final words. The choice has already been made. Then the image vanished. The ships remained, and somewhere on Earth, one human felt an unknown presence watching. The countdown continued. Asterisk. The alien ships did not move. They remained in the sky like silent gods, watching Earth. Hours passed, yet no attack came. The world waited, trapped between hope and fear. People stayed indoors. Cities went quiet. Even the oceans felt still, as if the planet itself was holding its breath. High above Earth, inside the largest ship, the Alien Empress observed everything. Her throne chamber was vast and dark, lit by floating lights that reacted to her thoughts. The walls showed live images of Earth from every angle. She saw humans running, hiding, praying, arguing. Their emotions were loud and uncontrolled. Weak, she thought. She'd had seen many species like this before, loud but small, brave but short-lived. Worlds like Earth, usually burned within minutes of her arrival, yet this time was different. The Empress leaned forward on her throne. Her eyes focused on a single point on the planet, not a city, not a military base. Just one human. Her advisors stood behind her in silence, tall alien beings with silver skin and cold eyes. They feared her more than any enemy. Why do we wait? One advisor finally asked. The planet has no strategic value. The Empress did not turn. This world is not valuable, she replied calmly. But its people may be. The advisors exchanged uneasy looks. Humans were weak. Their technology was primitive. Their weapons were useless. What value could they have? On Earth, world leaders gathered in underground shelters. Emergency meetings filled with fear and anger. Some wanted to fight. Others wanted to surrender. None had a plan. Every attempt to contact the alien fleet failed. Then the voice returned. This planet remains under judgment, the Empress said, her words echoing in every mind. Your leaders will not speak for you. Confusion spread. If not leaders, then who? People asked. The Empress's gaze never left the same human. Long ago, she had learned an important truth. Power was not always in armies or weapons. Sometimes it lived in a single mind, a single will. This human was different, not because of strength, not because of rank, but because of choice. She had watched him during the first moments of panic. While others screamed or ran, he had acted. He had helped strangers. He had stood still when fear told him to flee. He had looked at the sky, not with anger, but with understanding. The Empress felt something unfamiliar. Interest. She stood from her throne. The room reacted instantly, lights brightening, systems activating. Her presence alone commanded an empire. Prepare the condition, she ordered. The advisors stiffened. You will claim a human? One asked carefully. That has never been done. The Empress turned slowly. Everything new is never done, she replied. Until it is. On Earth, panic returned as the Empress's image appeared again in the sky. I have judged your world, she said. You will not be destroyed today. Relief spread like wildfire. People cried. Some laughed. Others collapsed in exhaustion. But the Empress raised her hand. This mercy is not free. Silence followed. One human will. Leave Earth, she continued. That human will belong to me. The words cut deep. Parents held their children tighter. Friends looked at each other with fear. No one wanted to imagine being chosen. You will not decide who, the Empress said. The decision is already made. Anger replaced fear. Protest filled the streets. Humans demanded answers. They wanted reasons. They wanted fairness. The Empress felt none of their noise mattered. In her mind, the choice was simple. One human life for billions. A fair trade by any galactic standard, yet something inside her hesitated. She had taken worlds before, slaves, armies, entire species. But this felt different. She was not claiming a servant. She was claiming a test. The human she had chosen did not know it yet, but his future was no longer his own. Far below, in a quiet place, that human felt a sudden chill. He looked around, sensing something unseen. The sky above him felt heavier, closer. The Empress spoke one final time. When the hour ends, she sighed, "The human will come to me willingly." Her image vanished again. The fleet remained and across Earth. One truth became clear. The survival of the planet no longer depended on armies, weapons, or leaders. It depended on one human. And the Empress was watching. The countdown reached its final minutes. Across Earth, giant digital clocks appeared on every screen that still worked. Red numbers floated in the air above cities, ticking down in silence. No one knew who had placed them there, but everyone understood. Their meaning. Time was running out. People argued in the streets. Some blamed governments. Some blamed fate. Some blamed the Alien Empress. Fear pushed humanity to the edge of chaos. But somewhere far from the noise, the chosen human sat alone. His name did not matter. He was not a soldier, not a leader, not a hero. He was just a man living an ordinary life on an ordinary day until the sky changed. Now his hands trembled as a strange feeling pressed against his mind, like invisible eyes watching him closely. He stood up slowly. The air around him felt different, heavy, silent. Then the voice came again, but this time it spoke only to him. "Are aware," the Empress said calmly. He froze. The words were not loud, yet they filled his thoughts completely. His heart raced. He looked around, but no one else reacted. She was speaking only to him. "I did not choose you by chance." The voice continued. "I observed your species. I observed your fear. And I observed your choices." He swallowed hard. Fear told him to run, to scream, to deny everything. But something stronger held him still. "Why me?" he whispered. The Empress answered without hesitation. "Because you did not beg," she said. "You did not hide. You did not demand power. You accepted fear and acted anyway." Images flashed in his mind. Moments from earlier that day. Helping strangers. Standing still while the world panicked. Looking at the sky not with hate, but with curiosity, he felt exposed. On the other side of the world, leaders received a final message. "The human has been informed," the Empress announced. "You will not interfere." Military commanders shouted. Orders that meant nothing. Weapon systems powered up, then shut down instantly. The alien fleet controlled everything. "This is not your decision," the Empress added. It never was. Back with the chosen human, the pressure in his mind increased. "When the time ends," she said, "you will come to me." "What happens if I refuse?" he asked. There was a pause. Then her answer came cold and honest. "Then Earth ends." The weight of those words crushed him. Billions of lives, children, families, a whole planet balanced on his choice. "You call this mercy?" he asked quietly. "I call it balance," the Empress replied. "One life for many. This is the law of the galaxy." He closed his eyes. Fear tried to control him, but it failed. Something else rose instead. A quiet strength. A simple truth. Earth was his home. "I will go," he said. The Empress felt it instantly. Not relief. Respect. "You choose willingly," she said. "That matters." Around the world, people felt something change. The red countdown slowed. News channels reported strange calm spreading through the air. Panic softened into silence. The Empress appeared one last time above Earth. "The condition has been accepted," she announced. "Prepare." A beam of light shot down from the alien ship, precise and gentle. It surrounded the chosen human. Wind rushed outward, but nothing was destroyed. People watched in horror and awe as the beam lifted him from the ground. As he rose into the sky, he looked down at Earth, his world, small, beautiful, fragile. He did not scream. He did not fight. He simply watched. Inside the alien ship, the Empress stood waiting. When the human arrived, the beam faded. He stood alone in a vast chamber, surrounded by strange light and silent power. The Empress stepped forward. For the first time, she looked at a human not as prey, not as property, but as something else. "You belong to me now," she said. He met her gaze. "No," he replied calmly. "I came for Earth." Silence filled the chamber. The advisors watched in shock. Empress felt something unexpected stir within her. The human had crossed the stars unarmed, and still stood his ground. And in that moment, she realized something dangerous. Humanity was far more than weak, and this human was only the beginning. The chamber was larger than any building on Earth. The human stood still, trying to understand where he was. The floor beneath his feet felt solid, but smooth, like stone mixed with metal. The air was warm and clean. Strange lights floated around him, changing color with soft hums. He was no longer on Earth. Across from him stood the alien Empress. Up close, she was even more imposing. She was taller than any human, yet she did not need to raise her voice to command attention. Her eyes glowed faintly, watching him carefully, not with anger, not with hunger. With curiosity. "You stand without fear," she said. "I am afraid." The human replied honestly, "I just do not let it control me." The Empress studied him in silence. Many beings had stood before her throne. Kings, warriors, conquerors. All of them had bowed. This one did not. "Sit," she commanded. A seat formed behind him, rising smoothly from the floor. He hesitated for a moment, then sat. His heart was still racing, but his face remained calm. "You were not chosen for strength," the Empress said. "You were chosen for will." She lifted her hand. Images appeared in the air. Scenes from Earth, humans helping each other, humans fighting each other, humans standing together when all hope seemed lost. "Your species is broken," she continued, "yet it refuses to fall." The human looked at the images. "We are not perfect," he said, "but we try." The Empress turned away, walking slowly. Across the chamber, "I have destroyed worlds stronger than yours," she said. "They begged, they screamed, they promised loyalty." She stopped and faced him again. "You did not." The human took a deep breath. "You gave us no chance," he said quietly. The Empress did not deny it. "Chance is rare in the galaxy," she replied. "You learn to take it or lose everything." She waved her hand again. The images changed. Alien fleets burning planets, cities turning to dust, civilizations erased in moments. The human's jaw tightened. "Is that what you will do to us if I fail?" he asked. "If you fail," she said calmly, "Earth will not exist to remember it." Silence followed. Then the Empress surprised him. "You are not a prisoner," she said. He looked up sharply. "You belong to me," she continued, "but you are not chained." She explained the truth. He was not taken for labor, not for display, not for punishment. He was taken to be observed. "Your kind stands at the edge of something," the Empress said. "I must understand what?" The human laughed softly, a tired sound. "So I am a test," he said. "Yes," she answered. "And perhaps a warning." The advisors shifted uneasily. They did not like uncertainty. The Empress gestured, and the chamber opened into a wide viewing platform. Stars stretched endlessly beyond transparent walls. Massive fleets moved like silent rivers of light. "This is my domain," she said. "An empire built on control." The humans stared in awe. "And Earth?" he asked. The Empress replied, "For now." Relief washed over him. His shoulders relaxed for the first time since the sky had darkened. "What do you want from me?" he asked. The Empress turned to face him fully. "I want to see what happens," she said, "when a human stands among gods." She moved closer, studying his face. Fear changes most beings, she said. It makes them small. She paused. It made you honest. The human met her gaze. Fear reminds us what matters, he said. That is why we fight it. Something shifted in the Empress's eyes. Not softness. Respect. Rest, she commanded. You will need strength. The human was led to a chamber prepared for him. It was simple. Clean, quiet, no chains. No guards. As he lay down, staring at the strange ceiling, his thoughts returned to Earth, to the people who did not know his name, to the planet that would live because of his choice. Far away, the Empress watched through unseen systems that she had ruled for centuries. She had never questioned her empire. Until now. This human, she said quietly to her advisors, is dangerous. Because he is weak? One asked. No, the Empress replied, because he is human. And somewhere among the stars, the balance of the galaxy began to shift. The silence did not last. Deep inside the Empress's flagship, alarms sounded low and controlled, but serious. Lights shifted from soft blue to warning gold. The advisors straightened at once. The Galactic Council has summoned you, one of them said. They are not pleased. The Empress remained calm. Of course they are not, she replied. Power fears change. Far away from the human's resting chamber, a massive hall came alive. The council chamber was circular, endless in size, with towering seats floating in the air. Each seat held a ruler, commander, or ancient being from across the galaxy. They appeared one by one. Some were made of light, some of stone, some of flesh and metal mixed together. All of them were powerful. At the center, the image of the Empress formed. You spared a world without permission, one voice boomed. You claimed a human, another hissed. You broke balance, said a third. The Empress did not bow. I enforced balance, she said. One life for billions. That human is insignificant, a council member argued. Humans are weak. The Empress's eyes narrowed. Weak does not mean worthless. She replied. You risk the order of the galaxy, another said. Humans multiply. They adapt. They remember. The chamber filled with noise. Fear disguised as logic. Empress raised her hand. I have already decided, she said. The human remains under my claim. Silence fell. Then the final verdict came. If the human has value, the council declared, then let him prove it. The Empress understood at once. A test, not of strength. Of worth. Back in his chamber, the human woke suddenly. The air felt heavy again, like the first moment before he was taken from Earth. The walls shimmered as the Empress appeared before him. You are needed, she said. For what? He asked, sitting up. To answer the galaxy, she replied. He was brought to a smaller chamber, empty except for a single platform. The Empress stood beside him, her expression unreadable. The council doubts your kind, she said. They demand proof. Proof of what? The human asked. That humanity deserves to exist. His chest tightened. And if I fail? He asked quietly. The Empress did not look at him. Then Earth will be reconsidered. The platform activated. Light surrounded them both. In an instant, they stood in a vast arena floating in space. The council watched from above, unseen but present. A voice echoed. Human, it said. You will face judgment. The human felt fear, but also anger. I did not choose this, he said. But I will not run from it. The test began. Not weapons, not monsters. Memories. Images flooded his mind. War, hate, greed, humans hurting humans. The worst moments of his species played before him. This is humanity, the voice said. Flawed, violent, dangerous. The human clenched his fists. Yes, he said. That is part of us. The images changed. Rescue workers pulling strangers from rubble, soldiers protecting civilians. Parents sacrificing everything for their children. Humans standing together in impossible moments. But not all of us, he continued. And not always. The pressure increased. The council pushed harder, searching for weakness. Your kind destroys its own world, the voice accused. We learn, the human replied. Slowly, painfully, but we learn. The Empress watched closely. Most beings broke during this test. They denied their flaws or blamed others. This human did neither. You fear us, the human said, looking into the endless dark. Not because we are strong now, but because we will be. The arena trembled. Silence followed. Then, something unheard of happened. The pressure lifted. The test ended. The council spoke again. Slower this time. The human did not lie, the voice admitted. That is rare. The Empress felt it then, a shift, not victory. Recognition. The arena faded. The human stood breathing heavily, exhausted but unbroken. The Empress stepped forward. You stood against the galaxy, she said. I stood for my home, he replied. For the first time in centuries, the Empress smiled, not widely. But honestly. And far away. Earth remained untouched, for now. The council did not speak for a long time. Silence spread through the vast network of stars, heavier than any weapon. The human stood alone on the platform, breathing slowly, feeling the weight of countless unseen eyes. The Empress remained beside him. She felt it too. The balance had changed. At last, the council spoke again, but its voice was no longer loud or certain. The test is complete, it said. The human has shown resilience. Double quotes resilience. It was not praise. But it was not rejection either. Many in the council were uneasy. They had expected fear, anger, or submission. Instead had seen honesty. And honesty was dangerous. You may return the human, one voice suggested. The experiment has gone far enough. The Empress turned slowly. No, she said. Now it begins. Across the galaxy, signals spread. Reports moved between star systems. Observers replayed the test again and again. A weak species had stood before the galaxy and did not break. That fact alone disturbed many. Back on Earth, people sensed a change, though they did not know why. The alien fleet remained, but its weapons stayed silent. The skies were still dark, yet no destruction came. Hope began to rise. Inside the flagship, the human was escorted to a viewing chamber. Vast screens showed alien worlds, fleets, and endless space. You showed them truth, the Empress said. They did not expect that. I only said what was real, the human replied. That is why it matters, she said. The Empress faced him fully. You should know this, she continued. Some council members now see humanity as a future threat. The human did not look surprised. They should, he said simply. The Empress studied him. You speak without fear, she said. I fear many things, he replied, but not who we are. For the first time, the Empress understood humanity's strength was not in power, but in persistence. In standing again and again, even after failure. The galaxy had seen empires rise and fall. It had seen strength. It had seen cruelty. It had not seen this. The council met again in private channels. Their voices were sharp, divided. If humans grow, they will challenge us, one warned. If we destroy them now, we prove the Empress right, another argued. They adapt too quickly, a third said. Fear crept into their words. The Empress listened but did not interrupt. Finally she spoke. You fear humanity because they change, she said. I value them for the same reason. She made her decision. The human was no longer just a condition. He was a symbol. She ordered limited data returned to Earth, medical knowledge, energy patterns. Small things, nothing that could be called a gift, but enough to matter. Why help us? The human asked. Because if humanity falls, the Empress replied, The galaxy loses something rare. What is that? He asked. She paused, hope that refuses to die. The human looked at the stars. On Earth, scientists began to notice strange improvements. Power systems stabilized. Communication cleared. The skies lightened slightly. People did not know why, but they felt watched. Protected. And feared. The Council issued a final message. Earth will remain under observation, it declared. Any expansion will be monitored. The Empress accepted this without argument. She turned to the human. Your planet is safe, she said. For now? And me? He asked. You have a choice, she replied. He looked at her, surprised. You may return, she said, or you may stay as a voice. A voice for what? He asked. For humanity, she said. Among the stars. The human thought of Earth, of fear, of survival, of the future. He realized something important. Humanity was no longer alone. I will stay, he said. Not as a servant, not as property, but as a witness. The Empress nodded once. Far across the galaxy, a quiet truth spread. Humans had not conquered the stars. But the stars were beginning to notice them, and some were afraid. The alien fleet began to move. For days the ships had hung above Earth like silent shadows. Now one by one, they pulled back. The dark sky slowly returned to blue. Sunlight touched the planet again. People came out of their homes. They looked up, unsure if the nightmare was truly over. Then the final message arrived, not as fear, not as threat, but as truth. Earth remains free, the Alien Empress announced. This world will not be claimed. Relief spread across the planet like a wave. Cities filled with sound again. People cried, laughed, and held each other. Humanity had survived, but survival was not the end. High above Earth, inside the flagship, the chosen human stood beside the Empress, watching the planet from a distance. That is your home, she said. Yes, he replied. And it will change. It already has, she answered. The Council had accepted the Empress's decision, but not without consequence. New laws spread across the galaxy. Humans were no longer listed as insignificant. Earth was now marked as a protected world. Watched, respected, feared. The Empress turned to the human. You were never meant to stay, she said, but you chose to. He nodded. If I return now, he said, humanity will forget how close we came to the end. You believe fear teaches, she said. No, he replied. Choice does, she considered his words. You will return, she decided. But not alone. The human looked at her in surprise. I will speak, she continued. Not as conqueror, not as ruler, but as witness. The Empress transmitted one final signal to Earth. Every screen, every device, every mind received the message. You are not alone in the universe, her voice said. You were judged. You were found flawed, and you were found worthy. Silence followed. Then she added one last sentence. Do not waste this chance. The signal ended. The fleet vanished into deep space. Days later, the human returned to Earth. Not in chains, not in secret, but in light. He stood before world leaders, scientists, and ordinary people. He did not claim glory. He did not seek power. He told the truth. About fear. About choice. About how close humanity came to losing everything. And about why they survived. They spared us, he said, not because we are strong, but because we are still learning. Humanity listened. For the first time, the world was quiet, not from fear, but from understanding. In the stars, the Empress watched. She had ruled through power for centuries. Now she watched a species grow without her control. This one world, she said to her advisors, will change the galaxy. Because of one human? An advisor asked. No, the Empress replied. Because of all of them. On Earth, new questions rose. Who are we? Who will we become? Humanity began to look outward, not with hunger, But with responsibility, years passed. Human ships reached beyond their system, not as invaders. As explorers. The galaxy remembered the day Earth was spared, and it remembered the condition. One human had stood for billions. One voice had spoken for a species, and an empire had listened. In the end, Earth was not saved by weapons, not by armies, not by power. It was saved by choice. And from that day forward, whenever the galaxy spoke of humanity, it did not call them weak, it called them awake.